I'm an artist obsessed with creating spaces. I've made murals and room-size art installations. I've designed interactive experiences in real life and in digital spaces. I've even created an entire fictional universe for my former band, Ming and Ping. In fact, I performed as both fictional twin brothers, Ming and Ping. Lately, I've been really into designing spaces that are conceptual and not physical. Spaces based around an intention or an idea. So what does all this have to do with tea? Well, this space. I'm building this space with tea. I promise you, I will make it make sense. My name is Bao Vo. I'm an artist, and Mind Over Matcha is where my guests and I share everyday epiphanies, which are tiny droplets of wisdom that could change the way you look at the world. Take what you need and use the rest to water the plants. I didn't get tea for a long time. It took me over a year to understand matcha. A few years ago during the pandemic, a really good friend of mine sent me a matcha kit. And at the time I was drinking a lot of coffee, like 2 to 5 cups of cold brew or pour over a day. And I was working a lot, so the ambient stress level was a lot. But anyway, I learned the basics of matcha, how to make it, and started drinking the matcha. But, a few weeks in, I was like, yeah, the ritual of making it kind of takes a long time. Oh, hi, puppy. Come here. What did you find? Bye. So making the matcha took time. The taste was great, but it wasn't as strong as the coffee. It wasn't the energy. I liked the slow energy, but I needed more. And so I didn't quite get it. So months in, maybe I throw a little more matcha in the bowl. My whisking technique gets better, so my froth is better. Hi, baby. Oh, you're so cute. So I get better at matcha, and I make my matcha taste better. But really, I still didn't get it. Because I was drinking it as an alternative to coffee, right? Instead of bean water, it's leaf water. But what's the big deal, I thought? And so sometime later, my friend Kentaro invited me to a traditional Japanese tea ceremony. And the whole ritual was so slow and symbolic and formal. And I learned that the ritual had an intention of being there, being in that space of reverence and humility and honor and slowing down to appreciate what we have. And Kentaro taught me a Japanese phrase, Ichigo Ichie, is like one lifetime, one moment, meaning every single moment is unique, and to slow down and savor that is magical. I mean, the tea itself didn't change, but what mattered was that space that we were in, not the physical space. It was a beautiful space, Japanese tea house, but that space of intention. We talk about this on Coffee with Bao, episode 4 of season 2 with my friend Wesley. So you can maybe check that out if you want. And so as an artist, I made that connection between creating that space and creating my art spaces. See, as an artist, I had spent years building spaces with materials, lighting, sound, atmosphere, time-based elements. But the tea ceremony wasn't about that space. It was about our shared presence. And that was beautiful. It's very windy today, by the way. And speaking of art, I saw the same thing, but like on steroids at Burning Man. It was this gigantic utopia based around the ideals of art. And everybody who was there was fully bought in. They had the same intention of making it that space. And the reason it worked is everyone pitched in to make it happen. And everyone pitched in because they knew that it was temporary, that it would go away in a week. And so Burning Man opened my eyes to how powerful and how vast these conceptual spaces could actually be. So I learned that I could create these spaces too. All I needed was 3 things: the idea or the intention, the participants, and their presence. And here we are. So what does Mind Over Matcha mean to me? I mean, the matcha is a tasty beverage. But it's more than that too. It's a tool to facilitate this space, the creation of these magical spaces. This show is a space that I create, just like Tea Ceremony, to invite others in to share their wisdom outward to you. It's a space to honor those who believe in me and have supported my work all this time, because that unconditional support gives me permission to be fully myself, to create, to share ideas, to build meaningful spaces for others to share ideas. Mind Over Matcha is that space. It's my space. Think of the spaces you regularly share with people in your life. Family dinner, the commute to work or school, meeting a friend for coffee. With some intention, you could transform those spaces into something really meaningful. So I've been writing a book for the last year called Baoisms, Everyday Epiphanies of a Mindful Artist. If you go to baovomusic.com, you can pre-order it, or you can support all of my other projects too. This show was designed for YouTube, but it's also a podcast. And if you like what you've heard so far, I hope you subscribe and share it with a couple people that mean a lot to you. That would mean a lot to me. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me.